Hi, I'm Ryan, and my parents are in their late 60s and very active. Having a walking frame isn't even on their radar yet.
Hi everyone, I'm Carrie and my parents are in their late 60s and both were quite active until they each had a fall.
Hi, this is Avilasha. My parents have not thought about using any mobility device or aid, but my grandfather uses self-standing cane.
The objective of our work is to provide the University of Wollongong research team with rich insights into people over the age of 65 and how they can maintain mobility in their homes, mainly through a walking frame or stick, and the level of technology that might be within it. As outlined in our plan, this presentation is an update on our progress in two key areas. Firstly, a review of our current literature, and secondly, a snapshot into the market research we currently have live with participants. Then finally, we'll draw some conclusions based on the evidence we've brought together so far on the project. Early on, we identified 3 ways that would help us understand the influences behind purchasing and use of a mobility aid. These include 1, their lifestyle and attitudes towards using a device and how this might make them feel about getting older. 2, considerations on their home environment and how the current setup may or may not allow for a mobility device. And thirdly, how technology capable are our target market? Is their knowledge and current experience with technology a barrier or an opportunity for product design? Okay, let's have a look at how an individual's lifestyle and attitudes influence their purchasing decision. Now, research by Youssef in 2016 supports the position that people do actually prefer to stay in their own homes. And in fact, walking frames or walking sticks can help them stay there longer, rather than moving to an aged care facility. However, as recent reports, there are 2 pretty strong negative stigmas that prevent people from looking at purchasing a walking frame. The first one is that it's a negative reflection of themselves for themselves. And the second one is it also looks at what they think of others who actually use them already. This creates many barriers for consideration and only puts them in a reactive state, or only buy one when there's something wrong. Now, because of these stigmas, many older people refrain or even avoid reporting their physical movement problems to their doctor because they're afraid of acknowledging this stage in their life, that things are actually going downhill and they are getting older. Now, interestingly, in a report by Goodman and Hill, many of these negative stigmas are reduced heavily once they decide to make the purchase. Once they have the walking stick or walking frame in their home and in their lives, they then quickly understand the benefits of such a device. And sure enough, they can reclaim some of the physical elements in their life once again and get back to normal.
Modifications to the home environment can improve the independence of people, enhance mobility in and around the home, and enable the performance of self-care activities. Most Australian homes, however, are not designed to meet the changing needs and varying functionality of an ageing population.
This section of the literature review will look at the way an individual's home environment influences the purchase and use of a mobility aid. In conjunction with how a person feels, the home environment can enhance or hinder an older adult's ability to perform things they feel are important. An enabling environment can give people greater functional ability that can include the use of assistive technologies. A systematic review by Bejournet in 2018 found the presence of stairs, doorways, heavy doors, and lack of ramps as barriers for use of a walking stick or frame. This was found to impact leaving the home and functionality within the home. A review of the literature found limited evidence of how walking sticks and frames are used and how they interact with the home environment to facilitate mobility. A 2011 study by Allen, Foster and Berg found the use of walking sticks can potentially increase independence of adults and reduce the need for paid and unpaid care within the home. However, evidence shows when people purchase a mobility device from a medical supply company, therapist, or doctor, they are not receiving appropriate training on how to use it or an evaluation of their home.
The interest in technology for older adults is found to be driven by converging trends such as the rapid development of technology, the unprecedented growth of the population, the increase in the number and survival of persons with disability, and people people and company working with government in order to address the changing needs of the population. The mobility aid helps in reducing the load of the lower limb, thereby alleviate the joint pain or compensate for weakness or injury. The device helps an individual in improving the balance by providing the mechanical advantages as well as providing somatosensory feedback. Technology can be a barrier as well as a means to independence and participation in the community. A recent study published in Healthcare analyzed that older adults' perspective on the use of mobility aid intended to allow them to stay in the home in family care, where the mobility aid helped them to give independence. People are driven to use the mobility aid as they bring positive impact on health and well-being of a person and their family, and not limited to the surrounding but the broader, the socio-economic environment of themselves. With the use of mobility aid, older people can continue to live a normal life and delay or prevent the need for long-term care.
Using insights gained from the literature review, an online survey was developed to investigate the 3 research questions. The results to date are from 21 participants and include 91% over the age of 60, 76% are female, all live within Australia, and 95% currently do not use a walking stick or walker, but 20% have used one in the past.
Results of the survey indicate people do not feel as old as they actually are. We had over 85% of participants doing more than the recommended 30 minutes of daily exercise. Only half, however, had thought about using a mobility aid in the future. 45% of participants felt they would not need to rely on paid assistance at home if they had a walking stick or frame. This was supported by 86% of people preferring an assistive device instead of personal assistance.
81% of people surveyed felt a walking stick or frame would impact the way they lived at home, and only 43% thought that they would be able to continue living in their current home.
The results gained from the survey confirmed the systematic review by Bijonais in 2018 that stairs and the front door were barriers to use of a walking stick or frame within the home. It also identified uneven ground was more of a concern than lack of ramps.
When comparing a low-tech and a high-tech walker, people over the age of 60 preferred the low-tech version, while those under 60 preferred the high-tech. They indicated this was because the low-tech walker looked simpler to use and easier to operate.
Participants indicated their preferred features in a walker were grip handles that observe sweat, the ability to send text messages to loved ones, and sensors that warned of danger.
The initial analysis of the literature and survey results have provided a few key findings. A walking device is a symbol of a life in decline and something that people do not want to be associated with or plan for. This is influenced by internal and external negative stigmas as outlined by Resnick. The survey results found that people would prefer an assistive device over personal care. This is in line with a study by Allen, Foster and Berg that found using a walking stick or frame could increase independence within the home and decrease reliance on paid and unpaid care. The literature indicates an increase in technology use by the elderly. The survey found people prefer the look and ease of use of low-tech, but want the high-tech features. This increases the possibility to include high-tech features in the product design of future walking sticks and frames.
Based on the literature review and survey analysis conducted to date, we would recommend that UOW Global Challenges Group to undertake further qualitative research, in particular in-depth interviews with people who currently use walking sticks or walking frame. So further research could explore if the perception and attitudes towards walking sticks and frames are same for those who currently use these devices compared to the majority captured in the survey that have no even considered that they may need one.
There you are. So the team are progressing really well. Our next steps are to close out the research that's currently live so that we can help build a market segmentation. Then we're going to look at another case study where the elderly have used technology-based products. Once this is complete, our final stages will to provide you with some guidelines on how to create a design thinking process with a target market so that you can come up with a perfect product that's suitable for them. Thank you.